It has happened again.
The entire country is wrapping its arms around Alan tonight.
8 innocent lives lost in a mass shooting.
This memorial has grown tremendously since Saturday. So many people coming by.
We're just individuals who cared about the community, and one by one, they just started coming and saying, we'll help. We brought flowers for him, his mommy and daddy.
We're all a part of the same community. We're all here.
Evil is not going to win.
Tonight, we honor the victims.
Pero Helio, un hijo excepcional.
I keep thinking about her. I don't know how many times a day.
The first responders.
I'm moving as fast as I can, trying to get over there.
And the unsung heroes.
And that was kind of my intention with this piece, was to hold space, not for my emotions, but for the community's emotions.
The tragedy in Allen, 1 year later. And we'd like to begin with a live look from the remembrance ceremony with the Allen Philharmonic Orchestra performing the prelude right now. We're a year to the day since a man opened fire in one of the busiest shopping centers in North Texas, and we've come to know those 8 victims as a mother, father, daughters, and sons.
As the orchestra continues to play the prelude, we want to let you know what the city has planned during this gathering. Tonight, Allen's Mayor, Bain Brooks, is expected to give opening remarks. There will be an interfaith reflection and a performance by the Allen High School Varsity Men's Choir, along with a moment of silence.
Thank you for joining us on for this special on what is clearly an extremely difficult day in our community. I'm Chris Lawrence.
And I'm Cynthia Isaguirre. Even as we honor the 8 victims, we know thousands more North Texans share a grief. And for many, the healing process is so far from over.
Yeah, that's why we'll be weaving in original works of our own to add some context to what's taking place right now.
Let's bring in senior reporter Teresa Woodard, who is live near the Allen Premium Outlets. Teresa, this is one of those heartbreaking events where you'll never forget where you were.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it, Cynthia and Chris. This day is certainly about the victims, those who died, unfortunately, those who survived, and the hundreds, maybe thousands of people who were here shopping at the mall, heard those shots and ran for their lives in sheer panic and terror. We have to remember that they are forever traumatized as well. And of course, as journalists, we feel the weight of it too. This happened on a Saturday afternoon, so of course I was working in the newsroom, took the first phone call into the newsroom that there had been a shooting up here at the Allen Premium Outlets. All of us at that moment prayed and hoped that it was not true. Unfortunately, within a few moments, we knew it was. And so we got right to work. And in the hours that followed, all of those terrible details were quickly revealed. A mass shooting at a mall on a busy, sunny Saturday afternoon, 8 victims killed, the youngest just 3, the oldest only 37. Among the dead, a mom, a dad, their youngest son, also 2 young sisters who were still in elementary school. You'll remember for weeks, there was a temporary memorial in place here outside of the Allen Premium Outlet Mall. There were flowers, crosses, balloons. This really became a place for the community to come together and grieve and reflect on what happened. Well, now there is a permanent memorial inside the mall. It is 11 feet tall. It's hand-painted stainless steel. It weighs 1,800 pounds. It was uncovered today, which means the public can now see it for the very first time. The artist called it a vessel for quiet reflection. There's actually 8 wind chimes at the top of the sculpture, and that represents the 8 lives that were taken. At that new memorial today, flags are at half staff, and there was a group of counselors surrounding it, sitting at some benches that are nearby, just in case anybody who stopped by maybe needed to talk to them. At 3:36 p.m., that's the exact moment that the mass shooting began 1 year ago, we did see a small group of people pause and stand on the sidewalk outside of the H&M store here at the mall. Sadly, that's the place where several of the victims took their last breaths. Now, Chris and Cynthia, each and every mass shooting that we cover, and unfortunately, you and I can say the same thing, we've sadly had to cover many of them, they all make an impact on you, but I think this one felt a little different because of the families involved, those young victims. And as I was walking around the mall today, I could see families out there, families with kids in strollers. And it just reminds you, that's what was happening 1 year ago. People were out just enjoying a day, and then suddenly everything changed. Back to you.
So tragic. Our thanks to you, Teresa. And we want to take you back inside of the Credit Union of Texas Event Center, where we are now hearing from the mayor of the city of Allen.
Or experience this event firsthand. It's a day we want to we shared some trauma as a community. It's a day we are still grieving and healing from. And that is why I'm so glad we're here and you are here today. So we can lean on each other, so we can love on each other, and so we can experience the healing that happens when we do hard things together instead of doing them alone. May tonight be a part of the healing journey for Allen and then for each person that's present tonight. Thank you.
Well, Allen certainly isn't bearing the emotional burden alone. Sophia and Daniela Mendoza both went to school in Saxe, and you can imagine how their deaths affected everyone at Cox Elementary School.
Tonight, Tiffany Liu takes us to that campus to see how classmates are remembering these precious young girls.
I guess they already dried. That's great. Okay, good.
There was so much effort.
Okay. See.
To make Monday special at Sherry Cox Elementary School at Wiley ISD.
And they'll probably walk, across.
One of the second grade classes wrote a song.
The empty seats and sidewalk next to full boxes of tissue.
Be about 150 of them on the sidewalk.
Soon filled with students, teachers, and family.
Thank you for joining us.
Who are hurting.
Today, I think it brings them back to that day a year ago.
Sweetest little sisters that our school ever knew.
A year ago, sisters Daniela and Sophia Mendoza were killed in a mass shooting at the Allen Premium Outlets.
And that day was easily one of the hardest days I've ever lived.
Sophia's second grade teacher, Lauren Wright, misses the little things.
You can see her little ponytail back there, though. Just so precious. So precious.
As we release these butterflies,
I've looked at every butterfly and thought about her.
Miss Wright is looking forward to something more permanent.
I'm just so excited to have a place to go, to feel like I'm with her.
Their classmates broke ground on the Mendoza Legacy Park right outside of school.
And then the butterfly benches will be around that side of the tree.
A symbol of their beauty and grace.
They loved butterflies. Butterflies just kind of started appearing after they passed.
At the park, a free library will be named after Sophia, while a bird feeder will represent the generous heart of Daniela.
The void was so huge.
Teacher Stephanie Green led this project.
We would always laugh at each other, passing in the hallway.
A year without the Mendoza sisters is a year of heartbreak.
We didn't know we weren't ever going to see her again.
And that's why there is so much effort.
Sophia and Daniela bring the best of memories.
To keep their memories close.
And now back inside, we are hearing from the Interfaith Reflection led by Reverend Mary Beth Hardesty Crouch. Let's listen in.
Evil will not have the final word. We are better together. We are stronger together. So today, as we remember and give thanks, let us also recommit ourselves to cultivating a culture of empathy, understanding, and compassion. Let us stand as beacons of hope, actively working to build a world where peace prevails over conflict, love triumphs over hate, and may the light of remembrance and gratitude shine brightly, illuminating the path toward healing and renewal. And may we find comfort in the knowledge that though gone from our sight, those we mourn will remain forever in our hearts. Amen.
The Reverend with a powerful message of hope. She had also started her speech by thanking the first responders who had one of the most difficult jobs 1 year ago today. And right now they are preparing to hear from the Allen Philharmonic Orchestra. But we want to go back to talk about the responders. You know, they had to locate the shooter, come up with a plan to identify the wounded, and that is why she wanted to make sure that she talked about how brave they were. And joining on the stage right now is the Allen High School Choir. They are joining the Allen Philharmonic Orchestra, who will perform tonight. And this is right after participants were participating in a time of interfaith reflection.
Yeah, you can see some of the choir members now just sort of make their way upstage. Some of the band members as well, or the orchestra members as well. So we've been hearing from them. They did the prelude in the lead up to the start of this remembrance ceremony, and we've been hearing from them throughout. So let's take a brief break and let's listen in.
Be safe thus far, and grace will lead me home.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now
the Allen High School Band, and we are awaiting to hear from the Allen Philharmonic Orchestra. They will be performing a piece tonight that was specially commissioned to serve as a tribute. The 8 soloists are meant to represent the 8 individuals who lost their lives 1 year ago today.
Yeah, we had sat down with the man who composed Illumina and the conductor to hear sort of how it all came together. I'm just sort of looking at some of the notes that we had, you know, just about what they did to kind of make this piece stand out and really reflect what the community is feeling and use music to try to express and bring out some of that emotion.
Yeah, there is nothing more powerful than music. And right now, the orchestra is practicing, but we can tell you that the 8 soloists will be comprised of a flute player, oboe, clarinet, bassoon, horn, violin, viola, and cello. Those will be the 8 instruments that will be played by these 8 soloists tonight. As this community comes together to heal, you heard the mayor saying that this community is stronger together than alone.
Yeah, the man who composed the piece that you're going to hear is Lane Harder. He's a lecturer at SMU, and he talked about the feelings that his music could evoke. Let's take a listen.
Illumina, specially commissioned by the Allen Philharmonic Orchestra as a tribute to the 8 people who lost their lives in Allen 1 year ago today.
Yeah, Jobin Punninger sat down with the man who composed Illumina and the conductor as well to hear firsthand how this all came together.
Take any piece of music, and there is a purpose.
They're all practicing right now.
This is the Allen Philharmonic Orchestra.
Learning those last couple notes they need to learn.
And conductor Ryan Ross is getting them ready for an April concert. Weeks of preparing, months of planning.
Ready?
Da-dum. It's always going. It just never stops.
The same could be said for composer and SMU lecturer Lane Harder. The music that plays in his head.
Sometimes it's just on a loop.
The piece is inspired by the sad reality that plays over and over in our country.
I'm feeling a lot. It's so wrenching. It's difficult to think about and talk about.
The mass shooting at the Outlet Mall last May 6th in Allen. 8 people were killed, 3 were young children.
It's a very natural reaction to just think, what can I do? How can I help?
Nothing that any of us can do can set right what happened on that day.
It was at this moment composer and conductor felt music could evoke something.
To me, music is a way of holding space for feeling whatever you need to feel.
Lane wrote the piece for the 1-year remembrance event that Ryan will produce with the Allen Philharmonic Orchestra.
I think it's incredibly powerful and poignant and really beautiful. My job is to help bring that music to life as the conductor.
Slow for reverence, bright for the victims, and not dark. Appropriately named Illumina, in the light.
It's more about sort of painting on a big canvas and letting people sort of come to it.
An 11-minute piece that features 8 solos.
They represent the 8 lives that were lost.
Lane was very intentional about how he wanted to represent the lives of the victims.
And then when the soloists come in, everything's a little more animated.
The orchestra will perform at the Remembrance event just a few blocks from where the shooting happened. Music has a purpose.
It's not about the event. It's not about their loss. It's about how they lived as people.
A chance for a community to hear 8 voices. In Allen, I'm Jobin Punninger.
The Allen Philharmonic Orchestra with just a beautiful tribute. And as I listen to that, I can't help but just know what Allen Mayor Bain Brooks says, how we are all healing today and how we must lean on each other and do the hard things together instead of alone. And as we remember the 8 lives lost at the Allen Premium Outlets, we're also getting we want to recognize the survivors from that day. They were the mothers, the fathers, the children who are still trying to heal from that moment.
Yeah, you think about the first responders, who ran toward the shooter that day, saying thank you seems to fall far short of what they deserve. And, a lot of you had a part in this as well, whether you donated it to the Victims Fund, contributed to the memorial, or simply asking how you can help. We know, obviously, that some of the victims' families are still coping with this incredible loss.
Tiffany Liu went to one store where the employees are making sure He and his daughter are never forgotten.
There is barely a trace of the chaos 1 year ago.
It was just an average Saturday afternoon, and I was working behind the counter and heard
At the Allen Premium Outlets,
what was no doubt gunshots. I went and locked the doors.
Marcus Kergeson, his employees, and customers hid in the back room of Zwilling as the mass shooting unfolded.
Life can be here one day and gone the next.
8 people were killed. Marcus came out and saw Elio Cumana Rivas outside his door.
He was shot twice or more, and no, he was not alone because we weren't outside with him, but we were 3 feet away from him and we were praying for him.
Those were the words he broke to Elio's family in Venezuela.
Esta situación es como vivir en angustia día tras día.
Elio's father, Santos Cumana, wanted to see the videos.
He's not breathing anymore. He said,
of his son's last minutes.
I'll say a prayer for him.
The 32-year-old man was seeking asylum in the U.S., working every day to provide for his family back home.
Pero Elio, un hijo excepcional. Elio, wow. Elio nos dejó demasiados recuerdos a nosotros, a todos, a sus hermanos, a todos.
On May 6th, 2023, Elio was at the mall shopping for a birthday gift.
Ya tiene 7 años la niña.
To send to his daughter, Ariana.
It will be her 2nd birthday without her dad.
Inside his store, Marcus leaves a photo of the little girl who lost her dad.
This family can really use the help, still today.
Because while time moves forward, her heartbreak remains.
I just don't want her to think that she's forgotten and that her dad's forgotten, because none of that has been forgotten.
Esto para nosotros ha sido demasiado rudo, demasiado fuerte, pues.
From Texas to Venezuela, they grieve and heal together.
We kind of look at his family as part of our family.
Ellos, te comento que me brindaron demasiado apoyo, mucho apoyo.
Today you can walk through the mall and never know what happened 1 year ago. But look closely for the subtle reminders of who was lost. In Allen, I'm Tiffany Liu.
I'm proud to live in Allen. I'm proud to live in a community where we can come together, to hold each other, to pray for each other, and to sit in silence together when there are simply no words to say. My hope is that each of you were reminded this evening that you are not alone. And as you leave this room, you're still not alone. There are counselors stationed around the concourse wearing yellow badges and lanyards. If you or someone you know needs support, they're here to support you. Tonight's program was created by people who honor you. They love you, and they're here for you. Even if they don't know who you are and never met you, that's community, and that's Allen. And we know that Allen is stronger together. So, as we exit the doors tonight and return to our homes, let's continue demonstrating the love and the strength of this precious, precious community. Allen is stronger together.
Allen Mayor Bain Brooks. And as we conclude this in memoriam, we honor the victims and acknowledge the survivors. Tonight, these mothers, fathers, and children are all at different points in their recovery.
Yeah, and we can think of no better way to leave you than with prayers for the victims of the families of those 8 victims. Here's Sydney Persing with our final tribute.
May 6th, 2023, Allen, Texas. A man brought a rifle to the outlet mall and opened fire. Hundreds ran, but 8 precious people did not make it out alive. Christian LaCour died a hero, and at 20 years old, a dedicated mall security guard, Christian was killed, keeping shoppers alive.
We also must acknowledge the bravery of Allied security guard Christian LaCour, who evacuated one individual to safety and was shot while courageously remaining to help others.
Sisters Sophia and Daniela Mendoza died together. Daniela was only 11, Sophia only 8. They were students at Cox Elementary School. They loved to dress up, and the color yellow, and their really cool water bottles. And their classmates miss them every day.
We have been friends since pre-K or kindergarten.
Aishwarya Takikanda died shopping for her 28th birthday, a brilliant, determined young engineer with a promising career ahead. She moved to America from India to get her master's. Her boss here became her Texas family.
I think about her every day. I don't know if dead people can miss those who they have left behind or not, but I definitely can feel her absence.
James Cho died at only 3 years old. He really loved elephants and was really loved by his daycare teacher.
He was sweet and smart, and he was so cute, and he was a brilliant child. I've never actually met a 3-year-old that was that smart. He could read, and he was writing his own name.
James also died with his parents, Q and Cindy Cho. Cindy was a dentist, Q a lawyer. They were a family of faith, active at church. They were at the mall with James and his brother, William, to exchange clothes William just got for his 6th birthday. William was the only Cho who survived.
Just in front of the store.
And Elio Cumana Rivas died shopping for a present for his daughter. The 32-year-old from Venezuela moved to Dallas in search of the American dream, to work to support his sick mother and 5-year-old little girl.
I will say a prayer for him.
Elio also died with strangers praying over him.
He's not breathing anymore. He's dead.
A mall employee and his customers watched Elio die through a store window.
He didn't die alone, even though we were on the other side of this glass wall. He was not alone.
We know who they were because of how they died, but they were loved and will be remembered forever because of how they lived. In Allen, I'm Sydney Persing.